a few weeks ago, or it might have been months ago, because I'm not really sure, but it was some time ago. Let's put it like that. The House of Lords in the UK decided to have a pay rise uh, for its members, for the law lords. If I remember rightly, it was well above the rate of inflation. And I wrote a sort of a small article on Facebook about it, saying that before too long, the House of Commons would follow suit. Well, stone the crows. It didn't take MPs that long. Of course, they couldn't ask for more money, not on the back of the pensioners losing £300 heating allowance during the cold months.
Yeah.
Although the MPs get theirs, so, they get all their allowances, the heating allowances. So they had to do the next best thing, reduce their hours of work, which currently is minimal at best. But here we go.
Right.
Presently, MPs begin at 2:30 p.m. on a Monday. Right. Apparently this gives them time for MPs to get to London
Yeah.
to start their working week. And they work from 2:30 to 10:30.
Okay.
8 hours.
Yeah.
8 hours.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays, it's 11:30 to 7:30. Once again, 8 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
All good up until now. And on Thursdays, everybody packs up at 5:30, which drops down to 6 hours, so they can go home to their constituencies, or in other words, go home.
Yeah. Right.
Those who are renting out their second homes and claiming benefits on them for the privilege. So they go home. MPs allowed to claim for a second home if they hang around in London,
Yeah.
and all the mod cons, the heating, everything that goes with it. But a lot of MPs, I don't know if you remember, they were renting these houses out,
Yeah.
just to earn a bit more, just as a fringe
Yeah.
deal.
Yes.
So anyway, they're using the excuse to make this change. I've just explained to you what they do now. They
Yeah.
wanted to make a change.
Yeah.
And they're using the excuse that many new MPs didn't expect to win their election competition. All right. Once elected, they were surprised as to how many hours they have to be in the House of Commons.
Yeah.
That's their excuse. That's
Oh,
their
yeah. 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 Okay.
justification. Now they just want a 30-hour week. So 10 till 4 over the week. And that's if they show up at all, of course, because
Yeah.
we've all seen the images of the House of Commons, and there's only one bloke in there giving a speech to absolutely nobody.
Okay. Yeah. There's reasons for that.
Just,
Yeah.
just the Speaker of the House. I think that who spends most time in the House of Commons is the Speaker of the House,
Well, him when
because he
he's
has to be there to control the
Yeah.
unruly mobs,
Yeah. Well.
which are never there.
Yeah.
Soon they'll be wanting to be part of the 4-day working week,
Mm.
that proposal by Labour for the workforce in general in the UK.
Mm.
So once again, British MPs are in it for themselves, to get more, to do less. Surely we must have seen this trend for a long time.
Right.
Over to you. Have you seen this trend?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna stay on the fence on this one. I'm gonna give the reasons for it. Okay. I mean, who do the politicians ultimately work for? Us. Yeah.
Yep.
We elect a local politician. I mean, even I still do. Although I live overseas, I still have a vote because, yeah, I go with the rules. It's not I'm doing anything wrong. Yeah, and everything I've done is on record. Um, the so I still vote my local place. Now, yeah, I can only vote for in general elections and for referendums. I can't vote local elections. Yeah. Okay, just to clarify, also another rules. The um Now politicians ultimately work for us. We get to judge them. Okay, I'm talking theoretically here. We get to judge them every general election. If they do a good job for us locally, we elect them back in. There should be regardless of what party they represent, who they are. If they're a good local guy or person, man or female, we elect them back in. Yeah, that's the idea. Um, Now, yeah, and it always and yeah, they're going to get to know wrong with this. Now, as to the hours they work or anything, what we have to remember, it shouldn't be necessarily about remuneration, although it's right they get some. It should be about public service and public duty. And this is where I agree with you, Steve. Yeah, you become a politician because you want to make a difference, or you want to be someone that contributes to making the future of the country better, whatever side of the fence you sit on. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's what it should be about. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong they get a good standard of pay because, yeah, they could be voted out, deselected, or anything can happen. Yeah. And they might not have a job for any length of time. I know it's a risk you take, and we're all in the same boat with that. If you do any contract work or anything, you could start a new job and find yourself unemployed 5 weeks later. And I've known that happen to somebody who started a company and they don't get any any redundancy or anything else. Yeah, which I often think is a bit of a shame, but hey, man, that's the game we play. Now the reason that they don't that yeah, that they should be quite busy. I mean, when we see them in the chamber, the House of Commons, I don't care about the House of Lords at the moment, the House of Commons, where the main business is done. That is only a small part of what they do. Yeah. I mean, what are they doing? They're sitting there listening to other people sometimes waffle on. Waffle, for any foreign students that may have, means to just talk endlessly without any real substance. Yeah. Without anything. So that's only a small part of their job. Their job is to actively be involved, worry about their constituencies. They have to be involved in subcommittees. Don't have to be, but it's a good job if they are. If
Get
something,
extra for that, by the way,
well,
just
they
so you know.
probably do. Yeah, okay. Well, that's it. That's an inducement for them to do it. Okay. Um, okay, so it's an override salary. Yeah, now their main duty is to their constituencies. Yeah. From their salaries, and I don't know how it'll, well, I do. You can look online, you can see how much politicians get paid, what all their interests are, and everything else. I've done this, I've even done lessons about it. What they're,
£80,000 a year, sir.
yeah, 80,000, and then you can see anything else they're earning and everything else. So it's all on public record. Now, we can make the decision whether they're worth the money or not, our local people. Yeah. If they're not vocal, if they're not sticking up for local issues, we can even have them deselected. It's possible to get a politician deselected. I know people are trying to defend it. No, it isn't. Yes, you can, but it has to be by their own party.
Oh, that's not going to happen, is it? They've got to be really do something really, really great for that.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, yeah. Force a by-election, or they could resign. Force a by-election. Okay. Now, when they're not appearing in the House of Commons, and you can't go to every debate. Yeah. If you've ever been in industry, you can't go to every meeting. Yeah. It's
So what
just,
do you do, sir?
well, what do you do? Well, what would you suggest they do? They don't do anything else.
In big business, and the director, he has to go to a meeting, but he's doing
They,
something else. What does he do?
well, he either he appoints a deputy, or
There you are. Or he
or
delegate,
he delegate,
delegate.
or he does get the minutes. I mean,
I don't accept. I don't. I'm not
I mean,
accepting the cycle that you're trying to
how,
give. because each MP has so many secretaries and sub-secretaries in their office. They're getting grants for all of these people to
but
do
they
all this
can't.
work for them,
But they can't.
but they don't need to be there.
Well, they know because
If they're a good manager, like we had this in another podcast, the best manager in the world just
yeah,
sits with his feet on the desk.
yeah. Well,
They don't
okay.
need to be there. They have to go to the House of Commons. They have to mark their presence.
Well, I mean, if you say in the chambers that they're work a thing, there are times when there's no debates happening.
In
Um,
that case, you don't go.
yeah, and okay,
But
maybe
when
that.
there are, you go.
Well, okay, well, maybe that's what timetabling is. That maybe you have you limit more what it is. I mean, they should be doing things. They have to attend other meetings, other committees, and everything else. Um, I mean, unless you say that's their place of work, just they're just debating and drawing all the time. In which case, I don't want to pay someone £80,000 a year to do that. I could do that myself. Yeah. Um,
Jordan Peterson said, if you want to be a success in life, you have to learn how to make your own bed.
yeah.
If the politicians can't organize their own office, then how the hell are they going to organize a country?
Well, okay. I mean, yeah. You got. I mean, as you just said, probably the busiest guy all the time in that, and he's got a deputy. He is the speaker. He is in charge of it all, and yeah, his remit is far-reaching. We actually see what speakers do. Um, some of them overextend their power. We've seen that happen in more recent times as well. Um, but I mean, I do have. This is where it is. What do we want from a politician? We want somebody to go and sit in the roundhouse all the time and just talk, 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 talk. They have to then go and convey their decisions or what they believe. They have to
They
just,
need
yeah,
the politicians need to pass legislation.
yeah.
They need to pass legislation, and they just aren't doing it. What was the last piece of legislation that was passed in the House of Commons?
Well, I could look online and find it out, but yeah,
No, but off the top of your head.
well, I wouldn't know because I don't follow it every day.
Well, well, there you are.
Yeah, I
And
don't have.
so very rare, you know, the House of Commons has taken a position that you know about.
Well, I don't need to know about it because I have somebody there who's meant to be doing it. And okay, I'm shooting myself in the foot with this argument
I think
in
you
your
might be.
mind. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they do the divisions and everything else. They have so much limited time already in there. Now they get a call. Now, if you actually, and I studied this at school, there's the division bell or whatever they call it that rings, yeah, which calls every politician in the area to go and vote. So they are aware of everything it is. There is
But
the
Mark,
minutes. There's the
sir,
Hansard. There's the
sir,
Hansard. There's the
sir,
Hansard records. Yeah, there's
sir,
the Hansard records. Yeah,
sir, sir, that is to vote.
yeah.
That is not to do everything that needs to be done before the vote.
Well, they should be aware of it. And they have Hansard, they have other things. You're saying
Okay.
they have
Okay.
secretaries to keep the notes and things
Yep.
for
Yep. Of course.
attention. Yeah, they have representatives. Um, I'm not I'm not saying they should be there. I mean, okay, there is a controversial thing. Yeah, the House is packed sometimes for things, normally question time. Prime Minister's
Of
question time
course.
is normally packed.
Which is nothing to do with policy. It's more about one-upmanship.
Well,
It's
okay.
trying to embarrass your opposing colleague, which I think is just a waste of time just to say I've got you.
Well, I'd agree.
You know,
Yeah, I never understood it. I mean, yeah,
come on.
as I sort of said, the half an hour is better spent debating or doing. Yeah, I mean, they do meet with each other behind, not closed doors, but in other things as well. When you see them shouting at each other across the chamber, a lot of the time they get on quite well with the opposition. I know, or they used to be that way. I don't know
Friends
about.
are friends. Outside of work, friends are friends.
Yeah,
When
that's
you're
it.
in work, you're the opposition. Yeah, I get that. You
Yeah,
know, I don't. I'm not. That's not what I'm
and
complaining
they
about.
have to work together. They have to make things happen. Okay, you've got a civil service that does make things happen. Supposedly, I know we've got issues with that as well. I'm just saying, yeah, as I said, theoretically, what is going on? Yeah, there's the pictures of two or three or four politicians that are there. So they've got nothing else to be doing at that particular time. They're there. Um, I mean, yeah, in industry we have people known as professional meeting attenders or course attenders, but meeting attenders. Yeah, they don't do anything but attend meetings. Um, I hated meetings when I was in the industry. And I've even chaired a few, and I thought even I would be chairing meetings thinking, what is this meeting about? And I wrote an agenda just because I was told to do it. Um, a lot of times, yeah, if it's not relevant to them, somebody who's not on the coast isn't going to want to really be involved in a fishing debate, because what relevance is it to them if their industry is not based on fishing? Okay, the constituents might eat fish, but so that might not be relevant to them.
I'm sure that's when they send the secretary. Uh,
Yeah, the
okay.
secretaries can't sit in the House of Commons.
No, no, no. I'm talking about
Yeah, yeah,
these meetings behind closed doors
yeah.
that you talked about. If an MP can't make the meeting because he has to go to the House of Commons, I'm sure he'll send a secretary.
Well,
That's what the secretary does.
well, yeah, they've got a person there, the aide or whatever they call them, yeah, who will sit there. And I think they're in the chairs at the back who take that notes.
Yeah, well,
Um, Again, it depends on what committees are involved with. Um, it's it's not possible to go to everything. I mean, I don't want to pay someone £80,000 a year to just sit on them green chairs and just listen. I want them to do something, not justify their existence.
which is exactly my argument. They're
But
wanting to reduce the out. They're wanting to reduce their working hours to do less.
well, actually,
And
that might,
and
yeah,
these youngsters that are coming in, they're
yeah.
wanting to even have debates via the internet. How about that?
Well, that's what was being run before. And to be quite honest, yeah, I mean, slowly and surely, they're actually decreasing their need. I've said before, there probably will come a time when we all, I mean, we live, well, we're debating online at the moment. Um, I work online effectively. I don't always enjoy it all the time. I'd much rather, thankfully, I've got a couple of clients I have to actually physically go and sit in front of, which I like. Um, but it's um, but we're living more and more in a world where maybe we don't need it. You and I are capable of doing business with each other without any political involvement. We could actually have again, it's a bit of a WEF thing, and I'm going to be careful how I word this, but we 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 know the trades of business, we know the terms. We could actually do business together or do business with other people, form partnerships. We could do business with anybody else around the world. Why do I need a politician involved telling me what to do? Yeah. Um,
Well, I mean, I could ask the same question. Why would they need a politician involved if they don't even turn up?
well, that's it, and that's the point I'm making. Slowly and surely, they'll defunct themselves. Um,
Our politicians about to go in part time.
it might
They're
not be.
almost part time as it is.
I'm beginning to question, do I actually want politicians making decisions anymore? Because what's coming out at the moment, it's pretty dire. Um, yeah, I mean, this is it. Politics should be in the background. It should be making important decisions, not interfering with our lives. More and more, and you actually look at some of the debates when I have glanced at on the House of Commons. There's been a lot of involvement in my own personal life, this and that, what I should eat, what I shouldn't eat, what I should do this. Okay, I want information. What's a good healthy diet? And I do try and have a good healthy diet. Um, I do want a good education system in a country. I want a good health system, properly balanced, adequate for you.
Just recently, the government said that the, the French fries from McDonald's are more healthy for you than oatmeal.
I want to see the proof on that one. I mean,
Well,
oatmeal was probably treated with chemicals and all sorts of stuff when it comes out.
no, no, we talk about like
Yeah,
Willie Baxter and Scotch porridge oats.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, they said that Scotch porridge oats it's too sweet, but surely that depends on who's putting the sugar on their oats because when out of the packet there is no sugar there.
Yeah.
We put sugar and milk on to make it more
Well,
palatable.
that is a choice. I mean, I can eat it
That's right.
without
But,
either. I'd like a
but,
little bit of sugar, but
but
yeah,
because of that, they're saying that the French fries from McDonald's. So that means that everybody who wants to live a healthy life for breakfast are going to have a great big Happy Meal from McDonald's.
please. Once in a while when I'm really hungry, but then I'm hungry 2 hours later, which means it hasn't really done its job. But yeah, um, Yeah, if I had proper protein from it, I wouldn't feel hungry later. And I mean, I do exercises and things, so I know a little bit about protein. But yeah, um, it's a how can I put it? Yeah, I mean, I do sort of half agree with you. Yeah, they should be doing more, but what should they be doing? So maybe that should be what we should be saying. What is the role of a politician now? Has it changed?
Like I said, like I said, um, pass legislation. I don't think that the UK is a perfect country. Far from it.
No,
There needs to be a lot of legislation passed to make it, try and make it a perfect country, and they aren't doing it. And they're
no,
concentrating on things that have absolutely nothing to do with the running of the country.
yeah, I agree, and I won't
So,
disagree with that. Yeah,
so and now they wanted to reduce, wanting to reduce their hours even more, and do debates over the internet instead of turning up. There are certain debates you cannot
no,
do over the internet.
well, it's like
When
business. Yeah, yeah,
when you've got a House of Commons full of MPs,
mm,
imagine everybody on a I've experienced problems
mm,
on a WhatsApp call
yeah,
where there's four people.
yeah.
Imagine that's that sort of crowd.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been in meetings or lessons and things like that. We've been 6 people. Yeah, you do have your issues. People drop in, drop out, and everything else. Yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, it's the Elon Musk argument, isn't it? If he's got a factory, expect his senior people to go in because
There
the
you are.
guys on
There
the
you
ground, the guys on the ground have to go in. It's an ethical
are.
problem as well. Why should somebody on, as you said, £80,000 a year stay at home? Somebody who's on 20,000, 25,000, who just tightens nuts and bolts and actually makes. I'm not going to be totally socialist here because yeah, managers do an important job, but yeah, um, we I mean the debate is what do we want politicians for? I think what is their role? Maybe it's a good thing if you actually reduce the amount of debating time. We might actually get a focused debating time and not have to have the stupid debates about lengths of fries or other things. Yeah, a more focused thing of what's actually important for the country, which give it, the current administration in the UK won't like that because they'll actually be called to account on things.
Of
They
course.
won't dare to. They won't. So actually, that could be a good thing. A more focused agenda as opposed to the nonsense we're going now. Worrying about somebody's could be somebody's gender or something. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the answers. Politics has always been like this. Um. I do think the roles of the politicians is probably changing. Possibly is becoming less relevant now because we're getting more educated as well as a populace. You can argue not. Potentially, we are more educated now than we are as a populace than we were in the past. Yeah, it depends what you consider educated.
We're being exposed to more information for sure.
Yeah, it's how we use it. It's how we understand it. It's our critical thinking. Um, I mean,
That's
you and I,
that's when the problems begin to set in.
I mean, you and I have just had a thing about all about interpretation and ideas and idealism. I've actually studied this at school. Um, so I've come for it for a different point of view. We're both intelligent enough not to require a politician to actually stand here and tell us we're right or wrong. Yeah. Um, which is happening more.
Or how to think, or how to come to a conclusion.
Yeah. You and I, we just, anyone who doesn't know Steve and myself, we do disagree about a lot of things sometimes, but we still remain reasonably civil to each other. I think. Yeah. We're both quite blunt with each other on occasions, which is great, you know. Um, yeah, but again, I'll get back to it. And I've said it 4 times now. What is the role of a politician? What do we want from our politicians now? Somebody who fights for our local causes. I agreed with something you might have said a few podcasts ago about the possibility of doing away with the party system, going back to local representation. I think that's what you were saying. And I agree with that. I can see problems with it, the funding and everything else. But maybe that's the way we should look at it. And maybe don't have elections every 4 years, maybe every 2 years, fix. I don't know. And then maybe have fixed terms on politicians as well.
Idea. Fixed
Yeah,
terms.
fixed terms. Yeah, they have to go, and maybe they should be involved more in business to understand things. Maybe we've got to get away from career politicians. I'm not saying they're all bad. They're not unintelligent people. I mean, David Cameron was a career politician. I don't say he's a stupid person. He did understand things. Um, could I relate to him if I had a conversation with him there? Probably not. Um, I could probably relate to Tony Blair. I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't necessarily agree with everything he said, but that's a great way of saying it. Yeah, I can actually understand. Um, yeah, maybe we've got to review what we want from our politicians, and I think that's where the argument is now. Are they worth the amount we pay them?
They I think are they worth it? Yeah, that's got to be the bottom line.
Yeah.
You know, they get a salary. Are we getting a bang? Are we getting a bang for our buck, if you like?
Well, I,
And at
yeah,
the moment, it seems to be more of a little tiny thud
yeah,
rather than a bang.
yeah. I'm just going to end here that I did actually. I've considered this. If I went back to UK, for instance, and I wanted to run as a politician, A, which party? I wouldn't know, you know. And B, where would I want to run? There's only probably three three places I'd probably feel comfortable standing because I understand the local populace. I'm not going to say where they are, but yeah, um, possibly four at push places that I understand and I feel an emotional attachment to.
I think that if you were to do that, you would look for where there is an opening in a party, which, for all intents and purposes, these days is Reform or the Greens.
Yeah,
They're always looking, they're always screaming out, or UKIP, who are always screaming out for new members. And also, you would limit yourself to where the you don't look out of place.
yeah,
So, for example, with your accent, your regional accent, you'd be limited to that scope because whatever you thought about where you live, it may not be the same now.
of course it isn't. I know it isn't. Yeah,
Right. So, you can open your wings a little bit
yeah, but
because you may not be relevant to what's going on today, but you need to be somewhere where you won't look
yeah,
out of. I mean, um, Nigel Farage,
it's incredible.
he didn't use his this advice that I just gave you
Mm.
because he's too famous for that.
Yeah,
You
you've got
know,
Clacton. Yeah, I know Clacton
right?
quite well. Yeah,
But he's not from anywhere near there.
no, no,
And the same with Richard Tice.
yeah,
No, he's nowhere near. I think it's Boston, where in Lincolnshire that he's represented, and he's from London.
yeah,
But once again,
yeah.
he saw an opening there
Look,
that he's famous, so he can sort of slide in there and use his fame to get the votes.
well, I mean, it's called parachuting in or other things. I mean,
Yeah, of
I,
course. Yeah,
I, I've lived in your neck of the woods, York. I
yeah.
like York. York's a lovely place. I'd recommend it to anyone visit it. It's got a fine history of it. Um, yeah, I won't say the people there are bad. They're different. They have a different attitude from myself, and I felt that when I was there. I'm still in contact with people there, and yeah, they're not bad people. They have yeah, like I said, they have a different attitude. Maybe yeah, it's a two-way thing. Maybe being from the south, I have a slightly superiority complex to people from the north, for example. I'm using tongue in cheek, yeah, but um, yeah, it's not somewhere where I could relate to. I've lived there. I quite like the place. I would fight for its historical heritage and other things about it. But that's not what would be relevant to what it actually needs.
Yeah.
It floods on a regular basis, and I think that's quite concerning. But it always has done for centuries, so that's got nothing to do with climate change. Yeah, it's flooded since the ooze has, yeah, it is ooze, yeah, has always flooded. Um,
Ooze has always oozed.
yeah, yeah. What's the other thing? You can always tell a Yorkshireman. You can't tell a Yorkshireman now.